Yo, what's going on, Remedy Church and Remedy Nation, man? It is good to see you or be with you today, man. For those who don't know me, maybe this is your first time logging on. This is our midweek service, and my name is Pastor Lav. My wife and I, we have the privilege of being the pastors of this beautiful space and place titled the Remedy Church, man. So listen, this past weekend, it was off the hook. We actually had our first in-person gathering. Man, and hundreds of people came out. Man, we had people spaced out. People took temperature and wore masks. So if you think about it, yes, we were taking the proper precautions, but we just felt that it was time. Everything else is opening. We're not going to keep the kingdom closed, man. So I preached a message titled, Did you get your stimulus package? And I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking that it's about money and finances and resources. Man, that was the least bit about, what that sermon was about. Truth be told, I really talked about, are you stewarding the chances that God has given you? I don't know about you, but I've gone through things in my life where I've seen God give me chance after chance after chance. And I just want to take advantage of God's grace and do what he wants me to do in life. Now, the elephant in the room is this. Many of the people who are watching right now, you had got your stimulus. So now with that being said, I also talked about individuals mismanaging. And that's what I want to talk about today. Pastor Lav, man, this is your first time doing midweek after your in-person gathering. You're going to talk about money. No, not just money. We think about stewardship in three different categories. Hear me. Time, talent, and treasure. Time, talent, and treasure. So here it is. There was this man. It's crazy. He was at the grocery store, and while he was at the grocery store and he's checking out, a person ran up to him and they said, "Hey John." He said, "What's going on?" He said, "Man, your house is on fire." And John's like, "Nah, my house is not on fire." And they said, "John, listen, man, like I literally just rode past your house to get here. Your house is on fire." He's like, "Nope, can't be. Not my house. My house isn't on fire." So he said, "John, listen to me, man. When I rode past your house, it was up in flames. The fire department was out there, and you need to hurry up and get home." He stopped the guy. He said, "Listen, the reason why I know my house is not on fire is because everything that I have belongs to God. So the house that I stay in is his house. And if he did not stop the fire, then that means he has another house for me to stay in." Now, of course, this is a story. But the point of this story is to tell you that everything that you have, everything that's in your possession, everything that you believe you own, it's the Lord's. And I want to talk to you from this topic today. Listen to me. It's not yours. It's not yours. So yes, today we are going to talk about a culmination of what I believe and what we believe here at the Remedy Church of what stewardship is. And you heard me say it earlier. What are the three T's? Your time, your talent, and your treasure. Now, before we really dive deep into what the word says about this, I want to give you 4 qualities. Pay attention. 4 qualities of a good steward. A good steward is trustworthy. A good steward is wise, responsible, and generous. Leave it on the screen for a minute. You hear what it says? I said trustworthy, wise, responsible, and generous. Now, of course, out the gate, because I said I want to talk about 3 T's, time, talent, and treasure, I want to break down time first. Psalm chapter 90, verse 12, it says this: "So teach us to number our days." Why? "That we may present to you a heart of wisdom." Teach us to number our days so that we can present a heart of wisdom. What is this saying? That as long as I know how to allocate my time, how to appreciate my time, wisdom comes from understanding how to manage your time. Think about some of the time that you have mismanaged over the years. I can almost guarantee you that those were seasons in your life where you lacked wisdom. Rather, if it was age, maturity, where you were in life, the decisions that you made, you messed over time because you did not have the wisdom to understand the value of time. Now, I'm not going to stay on time for those who are watching right now. For those who are watching, you know that I've taught a number of messages on time. I mean, literally, no, this year, not 2 years ago, not a year ago. I think I've preached, and I put down here what I preached, It's Your Time. That was our first sermon out the gate. January 3rd, it was awesome. Go back and look. It's your time. And I talked about the inevitability of God really showing up, but are you ready for him to show up? Like, have you done everything that you needed to do with the time that you have in order to really walk into the blessings? Then after that, I taught No Time Like the Present. That was a midweek. I went back to my home church, the Word Church. My pastor, Dr. Vernon, he let me come preach, and I preached a message titled No Time Like the Present. Then I taught another midweek, and it was titled Lost Time Can Never Be Found. Meaning, hey, listen, if you mess over some time, then it won't be found again. Here's a quote for you. Time is a scarce resource that if you mismanage, you will never, ever be able to get it back. It's a scarce resource. So that's what I need you to understand when it comes to time. So what do I want to talk about today? Time from the perspective of this. Tithe your time. Tithe your time. I am a proponent in pushing you to really focus on God throughout the day. We have so many things we need to focus on. I have 2 small children, and they take so much of my attention. I have a beautiful young wife. She takes so much of my attention. I have a flourishing church. It takes so much of my attention. I have staff, personnel, and people that I have to touch throughout the week. They take so much of my attention. But hear me, if I give attention to everyone and not give attention to God, that's when things will get bad. So when I say tithe your time, this is something that I've been living by. I mean, now, honestly, I believe for at least the last 10 years of my life. I look at time in a day and I say, if 10% is honored in my money, I want to see if I can honor God with 10% of my time, which means 24 hours. That means 2.4 hours, which equates to 2 hours and 24 minutes every day. I'm trying to figure out how I can give that to God. Oh, pastor, okay. 2 hours, man, pastor, I can't. I don't know if I can really sit there and just pray a whole 2 hours and 24 minutes, or I don't know. Sometimes when I read the Bible, just be honest. Sometimes when I read the Bible, sometimes it puts me to sleep. And I know God's word is living, but sometimes it's hard for me to really get through all the chapters and names that I don't really know and places I don't really know. And, pastor, so I don't know if I'll ever be able to get to 2 hours and 24 minutes. Listen to me. I'm about to help you understand something. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not necessarily reading the Bible every day for 2 hours straight. No, I would be a lie if I told you that. I'm not necessarily on my face for 2 hours and 24 minutes. No, but there are certain spots in your day, and you know it as well as I do, where you're either doing something unproductive or, quite honestly, you're not doing anything. Prime example. Before I moved to Akron, I used to live in a town called Berea, but I was still the pastor of the Remedy Church. And for a second, I would have to drive from Berea to Akron every single day. That drive is 57 minutes. And some of my drivers know. And, you know, sometimes like, well, if I drive fast, I can get there in 45. Listen, it was a real fit. I don't care if I drove 100 miles per hour or if I drove 10 miles per hour. For some odd reason, it always took me a whole hour, basically, to get here. In that time, I wasn't in my car just listening to music. I'm going to be honest with you. I was in my car sometimes just talking to God. And I'm not talking about something deep. No, I wasn't obviously closing my eyes and crying and things like that. No, but while I was driving, sometimes similar to what I was talking about this weekend, he would refresh my memory. So as I was driving, I would say, God, thank you so much for keeping my family. Thank you so much for blessing my wife. Thank you so much for giving me kids that I love, that even though they may not be perfect, they're perfect for me. And thank you for the leaders of the Remedy Church. Thank you for all the people who help collaborate and make this thing happen. By the time I get to Akron, boom, time is gone. And I realize that I have been talking to God the whole 57 minutes. Sometimes I can get lost in a book and I'll start learning more about the Bible and learning more about what God is doing and how he blessed David and how he blessed Matthew and how he blessed Solomon. And then I'm so engulfed in what they're doing that sometimes I can look up and an hour has passed. Sometimes, listen to me, I can listen to someone who really speaks to my spirit. I pray if you remember here, or if you say you're a part of the Remedy Nation, that I'm one of those voices. And sometimes I can be at my desk and I can put something on because I'm going through something, and that's a 30-minute message. Sometimes I can listen to worship. All that I'm saying is that for 2 hours and 24 minutes every day, I am doing something for God. Because I understand that similar to that man that I talked about with the burning house, he understood that what he had isn't his. And for me, that includes time. So over this year, what I really want you to focus on is I want you to focus on tithing your time. 3 categories. Remember what I said? I said time, talent, and treasure. Time, talent, and treasure. So now that time is out the way, trust me when I say if you go back to our YouTube channel, you will be able to see some amazing messages. Of course, I think they're amazing. I preached them, okay? They are amazing. 4 stars, 5 stars, however many stars on YouTube. All the stars, if it's 7, it's 7 stars. But go back and listen to those teachings on time, because I believe that it'll help you get through this year and be more productive. Next, talents. Okay, talent. Now, of course, I know we're in the kingdom, so you hear a lot of people kind of talk about giftings and talent. Giftings, okay, Pastor, what's the difference? Here, I wrote it down. I said talent is your natural ability. Your natural ability. And gifts or gifting is something that God gave you. Your natural ability vis-a-vis what God is using you to do. Your gifts and your talents. Now here it is, because this is going to bless you, because a lot of people are saying like, well, I don't really know, what I'm good at, or, I always tell people this. It is okay to figure out what people say about you. Oh man, you always listen, man. You are such a good listener. Man, you always give good advice. Man, I never would have understood that if you didn't teach me that. Man, you are such a good place to talk to and to confide in. Man, listen, you're always showing me new things to do so I can take my life to They're letting you know, hey, you're good at this. You're good at this. And so now you have to start trying to figure out the difference between your gifts and your talent. And truth be told, they can be pretty similar. Here you go. I'm going to give you an example. I went to Baldwin Wallace College, and when I went there, I declared my major. I wanted to be an education major with a minor in English, because I wanted to be an English teacher. Well, at least that's what I was told. See, let's be very clear. That's what I was told that I was good at. So in high school, I had a scholarship to college, and I didn't know what I could major in. And they said, you read well and you write well. So, just go be an English teacher. And I'm like, okay, sure. And so I went there and I did everything that I was supposed to do. I did my coursework, and then I started teaching 12th grade and 9th grade English. Listen, big shout out to all the teachers. Oh God, it was terrible. It was terrible. I don't know how you do it. It was terrible. Listen, if you think I look young now, imagine me. Imagine me at 21, 22. You know, they're asking me to come to recess with them. You know, asking me to eat lunch with them in the lunchroom. Hey, this is not good. That was my situation. But not even that, you know, there were so many things in there that just made that whole situation just unpleasurable. I didn't like it. Now, what was weird about this is that then I went to school. I went back to class. I went back to BW, and I said, hey, listen, even though I just did 4 long years, I don't want to do it. But I would pray. By this time, I was a Christian. By this time, I was following God, trying to figure out, you know, my place in the kingdom. And I kept on praying. I said, God, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to be? And he kept on saying, teacher. And I'm like, man, I just taught and I hate it. Teacher. That's what you're good at, teacher. I'm like, man. So then as I'm continuously matriculating through ministry and trying to find my way, they said, start teaching our new members classes. And when I say the moment that I opened up my mouth in the church setting, everything made sense. Everything. And that's when I knew that my natural ability to teach moved, and it translated and transferred what God wanted me to do. So what I am telling you is that what you're good at, it's a good chance that God is saying, use that natural ability to glorify me. I mean, I know legitimately, I'm serious. I know people who are supervisors and judges in the real world. And when they came to the kingdom, they said, I would be a heck of an addition to maybe your board of directors. I know people who possibly sold drugs and they were actually good at it. They were actually good at it. They managed their money well. They invested in real estate. They got their family out of a bad place. But guess what? They came to the kingdom, and even though they laid aside all of that other stuff, what they did was apply that same mentality. So now they're in the kingdom helping people learn more about real estate, move their family out of places where they're not successful. Everything they used to do out there, they came to the kingdom. And so what I am telling you is that you say, oh, I love to talk to people. I ain't never met a stranger. That's like my mother. If y'all ever meet Mama Lav, okay, if y'all ever meet my mother, there is no stranger. She will talk, hey, she'll hit you. My mother, old school, be talking to you. Hey, baby, you look so good. She don't even know these folk. Don't know none of them. What am I saying to you is that she's the type of person that will be able to go out and talk to anybody about Jesus and evangelize and to pull them in the kingdom. What are you good at? What is the talent that God has given you? And I'm asking you to steward it well so that you can be an addition to the kingdom. We need you. I got a beautiful person on our team and she makes graphics. I believe that her business now is going to another level. Why? Because she subjected herself to the pastor, to the prophet of the house, to the priest. And she said, whatever you want to do, pastor. And as far as I know, she doesn't have any need that's not met because she said, I'll use my gifts for the kingdom. I believe that whatever you do, give back to the kingdom. I believe, how about this, that God wants you more than he wants your money. That God wants you way more than he wants your money. Because this is what somebody told me. He said, if God gets a hold of you, then he'll get a hold of everything else. So listen to me when I say you need to figure out what you're good at so that you can help the kingdom. Okay, here it is. Many of you, similar to myself, there were seasons in my life where I did not know what I was good at. And here's the reason why. I had, in a sense, blockers, things that were blocking me and stopping me from really pursuing God the way that I wanted to pursue God. And no, it may not be on the screen, but I want you to really, this is why I always say, get a pen, get a piece of paper. This is what I want you to do. And write down these few things. It says this. You didn't know you had them. You didn't even know you had gifts. You didn't even know, nobody ever told you that you're actually good at something. And this is what we believe here at the Remedy Church. Every Christian, every person has something they're good at. So listen, if you're watching right now and you've been around individuals who only spoke death over your life, and not literal death, they didn't try to kill you, but they told you you weren't worth it. They told you weren't smart enough, cute enough, pretty enough. You weren't a good leader. You weren't outspoken enough. You're not this and you're not that and you're not this and you're not that. And you chose to believe it. Listen, I want to debunk everything that they've told you today. No. You are beautiful, and there is something inside of you that we lack in the kingdom when you don't come. That's what I truly believe. I believe that there's a preacher out there that will never hear it because you don't even know you're a preacher. I believe that there's a prophet out there that you don't even know you were supposed to prophesy because you never came here. I believe that there's another director of ministries, another worship leader, but you don't know because nobody ever told you. I'm here to tell you that you have something inside of you that the kingdom needs. First one. Second one, bondage. Any type of bondage. Any type of bondage. What is bondage? Something that, in a sense, you're addicted to, that you can't get away from, but you know that is hindering you. And of course, we always talk about what? Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. But it's not just that. It's not just that. It can be TV. It can be food. It can be sweets and fatty stuff where it's blocking you. It's a bondage. Why is it a bondage? Because now you can't maneuver. You can't move. You can't love on your children because your health is so messed up. It may be your mind. You may be convinced that everybody's against you when, even though you may have a few, all of us got a couple haters, but truth be told, there are more people for you than against you. You may have trust issue. All of that's bondage. Bondage. How you view yourself, you think you're nothing. So of course people treat you like you're nothing because people will treat you the way that you teach them to treat you. That's good. It's bondage. So you have to figure that out. What's another thing? Being who others wanted you to be. See, that was me. Remember what I said? I said that I went to school at BW, and the only reason that I declared myself in an education major and an English minor is because somebody just told me that. Instead of telling me to go find out what I'm good at or to try to figure out, where I fit in, or I wish I would have been smart enough to take up religion as my major. I wish. It would have helped me so much more in the career field that I chose. But no, they said, this is what you are. And I believed them because what? I did not know anything and I was stuck. So I chose to do what they told me to do. Hey, I lost some years, but I believe that God will continue to restore everything that we lost if we get on track. I promise you, I believe that. Last two, irresponsibility. So you're irresponsible, and then sin. I can't explain that no easier. Sin. You know what that is. It's something that you know you're not supposed to do, but you keep on doing it. So we're not just talking about the simple bondages where you really getting caught up. You're getting caught up in TV. You're not realizing that you're wasting 6 hours. But you're not getting caught up going over somebody's house. You're not getting caught up stealing. You're not getting caught up coveting somebody else's belongings. You're not getting caught up. You know what you're doing. That right there will hinder everything that God has planned for you. So it's not that his plan changed, it's you changed. And because we serve a good God, when you moved, he moved with you because he still wanted to cover you, because he loved you. But in order to properly steward your talents, you have to figure out what you're good at and steward it properly so that you can go to another level. Luke chapter 12, verse 34. For where your treasure is, here it is. You know I was going to talk about it. This the money part. At least, I saved it to last. I ain't come out the gate talking about money. Now, reality is that there is 3 things my pastor used to always tell me that people don't want you to talk about. They don't want you to talk about sex. They don't want you to talk about money. Well, that's only 2. What's the third one? I don't know. But sex and at least money. They don't want you to talk about that. And everybody's thinking about it. And everybody struggles with it. But yet when we talk about it, it's some type of taboo thing. Here it is. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Here's the catch. I'm not even about to sit here and talk about church and tell you, make sure you tithe and make sure that you give to the church. I think you guys understand that by now. If you're watching on a Wednesday night, then something is telling me that you understand the idea of sacrificing not only your time, not only your talents, but also your treasure. So what am I going to tell you today? Time, talent, and treasure belongs to what you value. That's what that text means. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be. What do you value? That's what you invest in. I really want you to think about what I'm saying. What you value is what you invest in. See, because I've played the victim role, and I've played the role where I've said, man, why don't I have any money? Man, I want to get this, or I want to start a business, or I want to get a property, and blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, there's a new car in the driveway. Man, I want to invest in stock. I want to be able to get out of debt. I want to be able to pay some of these student loans off. Meanwhile, there are shopping bags all over the house. Man, I ain't got enough money to go on vacation. I've never been out of the city of Akron. I've never been out of the city of Cleveland. I've never been out of the city of New York. I've never been outside of my place, but man, I just don't make enough. Meanwhile, you go eat out every single day. What you value is where you put your money. So absolutely, I have to question the person who says that they value savings and value investing and value their business when they don't put their money there. And I'll say it, here it is, write it down. Pastor Lav, now he talked about it. I have to question if you value church and never give the church anything. My pastor used to say a long time ago, listen to me, all my single ladies out there, if you are dating a man that has never invested in you, and I'm being serious when I say this, monetarily, never took you out on a nice date, never said, what do you want? Never said, no, I ain't talking about a sugar daddy. Did I say? Rudy Nation, I'm tripping. I'm talking about sugar daddies and listen, but y'all know what I mean. I'm not telling you to just blow your money. No, what I'm saying to you is that the moment I met my wife, college, I remember one day she said, I'm going to call my mother to tell her I need to get some medicine. I said, no, I'm dating you now. You're the investment. You're important to me. She said, I remember one day she said, man, baby, I ran out of gas, but my dad is coming up here. I'm going to ask him for $20. College or no college, broke or no broke, I'm going to find a way to put some gas in your car, because in my opinion, your father need to be looking at me funny if I can't help you, but I call you my girl. No, I value you. So the moment that I came to church, and I don't say this braggadociously, I say this because I believe that it's a testimony. I don't play around with tithing. I don't play around with giving. I don't play around with sowing. Look at my track record. Look at my tithing record. I promise you, every single week it comes out. Stimulus check. I got 2 kids. You know how much I got. Everybody know how much I got because everybody got the same amount. What did I do? I tithe. Every month I send a tithe of what happens and what comes into here. Because I understand that what I value, I have to sow into. I have to sow into. Very rarely, and I'm not saying we're paying every single person, but the people who make this stuff happen, I will invest. And here's the question I always ask when I leave them. I say, do you need anything? Is everybody okay? Why? Because they're investing in me and time. And I just want to make sure that they're good on all fronts. What you invest in is where your heart is. Now, why is this important? Because many people who are watching this, you went through a tumultuous, a very hard year in 2020. But even in the midst of a hard year, God still provided. He still provided. And so I'm asking that with that provision, what did you do with it? Did you look like everybody else? Or did you steward it properly? And that doesn't necessarily mean savings, stocks and bonds. No, what I am asking is, did you use some of this stimulus money, some of the tax breaks, some of the extra funding that they're giving people with kids? I said this one day on the stage. I said, man, I've been trying to get money for my kids for years, and it finally came through. Thank you, Jesus. They've been stressing me out. I've been thinking to myself, man, I need $200, $300, $400, $500 a week to mess with it. And guess what? They start giving it. What are you doing? Are you putting this stuff away for their college fund? How many of us that look like me, now I am saying this, how can we wear shoes that are worth $300 but we have no life insurance? This is major. What did the Word of God give us the opportunity to? It changed our thinking. That's what the Word of God is here for. Yes, it's to get you saved, salvation, but I'm hoping that it changes your thinking. This is what the Word of God is. Change the thinking about how you manage your finances. And of course, I'll say this, give to the church. Because I believe that this is the greatest investment. I've never, me personally, had a consistent source of encouragement other than the church. Because people change. Mothers change, fathers change, brothers change, cousins change. The only place that I know that when I walk through the door, from the moment I walk through the door and leave out, they're going to tell me how good God is and how good I am if I follow Him. And all the things that God is going to be able to do. No other place in the world like that except church. That's why I give here. No other place. Remedy Church, you already know what we're doing. We're in a community. We're doing everything that we need to do. I'm meeting every single day trying to figure out how we can partner with people, help people, give, touch, all of that. Why? Because of the giving at the church. Couple ways to give here. Systematic giving. Yes, I got to touch it. Systematic giving. Systematic giving is automatic. That's like what I told you. I don't think. Tithe, ACH, whatever you want to call it. As soon as it hit, it's gone. Don't care what's on the table. Bills on the table, tithe is first. Debt on the table, tithe is first. Student loan is on the table, God, tithe is first. Why? Because I am trying to tell God that you get the first, because you are, in my opinion, the most important. And without you, I don't have. So I don't care if you get $100. I don't care if you get $250. I don't care if you get $250,000. I believe in the 10th. No, 10% is not mandated in the New Testament church. That's why I always say it is grace giving here. But I believe that if God was worth 10% in the Old Testament church, for all that He's done in my life, honestly, He may be worth more. Just me. So I still operate by 10%, and that's systematic for me. What's next? Spontaneous giving. Spontaneous giving. Have you ever sat in service? Have you ever watched a person, they're telling you what they need, and you automatically say, ooh, I should give them something. I should put a seed in their hand. He blessed me. I want to bless them. Have you ever had that moment? If so, then what I'm telling you is that, hey, listen to the unctioning of the Spirit and do it. Give. Absolutely. Give. Why? Because when you give, it shall be given back to you. I believe in the law, and I'll talk about it, of reciprocity. I believe that whatever you sow, it will grow. I do believe that. Last, sacrificial giving. Sacrificial giving is this. You're going to feel it. This past weekend, we gave a church, Reach City Church, Pastor Tanks and Minister D'Angelo. We gave them $2,500. It's our first in-person gathering. We are a new church plant, and we gave them $2,500. That may not mean much to you. It meant the world to me. And I was talking to one of our videographers, and I was saying, man, that's going to be, we're going to feel that. And I'm the pastor. This is what I'm saying. I said, whew, man, we're going to feel that. And he looked at me. It's my brother, my little brother Wayne. And he looked at me, who's a member here. He said, oh, no, we're going to get that back. Don't worry about that. It was worth the sacrifice. It was worth the sacrifice. Because we understand that God is our source. God is our source. And we'll do whatever we need to do to make sure that he gets the glory. I'm leaving on this one. I'm shutting the little iPad thing off. I'm gone. Here it is. The law of reciprocity. When you sow seed, something will grow. When you sow seed, something will grow. And the thing is, the law of reciprocity, it doesn't care if you're a Christian or not. It's not a biblical principle, it's just a principle. So what we've seen over time is the world taking advantage of the law of reciprocity, but the kingdom, they're sitting back just talking about them who are getting rich. Look at them. They said it's easier for a camel to get in heaven in the eye of a needle and than a rich man. They look, the young rich ruler ain't even know. Listen, that's fine. That's fine. What I'm telling you is that the law of reciprocity, the same way that it works for them, is it works for us. The reason why they have millions is because they took the time. Listen to me. They stewarded their time. They stewarded their talents. Then they stewarded their treasures so that they can build something. We run around talking about King Jesus is going to take care of me, and he will. But on this side of heaven, certain things need to be in place in order for you to live a comfortable life up to your standards. For me, I can't lie to you, I need some more money. I want some more money, but it's not just for me and my children. I need some more money because I want to bless people. I need some more money because I want to buy houses for people. I want to buy cars for people. I want to start organizations that help mass amounts of people. That's what I want to do. So I understand that when I hold off on just spend, ooh, I like that. Spin. Ooh, it's shiny. Spin. Ooh, everybody else got it. Spin. Oh, with these shoes, I mean, I know I got them last month, but hey, a month is a long time. Spin. No. What you put in the ground, it will come up. So listen, if you put seeds into shoes, then you will have a lot of shoes. But you may not have a lot of peace. If you put seed into clubs, you'll have a lot of fun, but you won't have a lot of peace. So when I start talking about finances, it is not just to get your money, it is to distribute peace. My pastor used to tell me a long time ago, and I'm gone, he used to say, the issues when you're broke, they'll take you out. He said, but issues when you got a little money in your pocket, they hit a little different. Arguments don't last that much longer. Why? Because sometimes, hear the pastor say it, finances can relieve certain stresses in our life. Because we live in a fallen world, even when we have finances, other things will stress us out. But I'm just praying, at least from my position, that it won't be money. Listen, guys, man, it's not yours. It's not yours. I pray that this midweek bless you. Two things that I always do. One is this. Make sure that you know this man named Jesus. He's going to bless you. He's going to keep you. He's going to do everything that he's going to do in your life, but you have to accept him. So here, you see the number, a link will come up, a link will pop up. There'll be another person on the other end of the phone waiting to pray with you. And then last but not least, we've been talking about it, is make sure that you give. Giving has been awesome. And obviously, if you watch this past weekend, you see that we're doing what we said we were going to do. We're building a community. We're helping a new church plant. We're doing Mission Akron. Mission Akron is going to be off the hook. We're going to be able to help so many people throughout the city of Akron. We're doing COVID-19 shots here We not charging anybody anything, and hundreds of people, hundreds of individuals will be here to make sure they get their shot. We're feeding. Listen, just name it, man. Name it. But it's because you are a good steward, or you know how to sacrifice for the kingdom the same way that I do. And I thank you. Well, listen, all I have for you today, all I want to do is tell you that I love you. My wife loves you. If you saw this past weekend, my children, they love you. But I always have to end by telling you this: God loves you so much more. I'll see you this Sunday in person. Let's go.